Wow. Listen to this. This video was done last year on July 2025. You know, no one knew about Venezuela, us getting a war to Venezuela, yet I predicted this based on the current economy at the time. And I wrote about it. So what happens today, we are in January 2026, almost at the end. Someone liked the video, and I saw it and I listened to it. I was like, oh my God, like, you got to see, because you got to listen, because you got to understand that a lot of stuff is going to be happening, including war with Iran, based on the economy. And I have predicted this. And I have another video, which is even a lot worse. And obviously, if you don't see what's going on, you're being so manipulated, so conditioned, that you don't even see it yourself and you don't understand. But you will. Watch this video and look at the date right here. It's on YouTube. Listen to me very carefully. I already showed you the graph. Okay, we lost more than 97% of our buying power. We almost at 0%. If you understand what this means, you can verify this from 1913 to 2025, since the banking cartel was implemented, which was the Federal Reserve Bank. It wasn't federal. It wasn't a bank. It was a couple of families, European families, Zionists, a lot of them, that came together. Okay, let's look at graph number 2. You can see the difference between a homeowner's income compared to the price of buying a home. Look at disparity. Look at the amount, the gap, making it unaffordable for the average American. Eventually, you're going to be homeless. Look at graph 3. Look at the trajectory of debt versus GDP and tax revenue. Our economy, this is what we're really fighting about. They're trying to keep you distracted so you don't fight your oppressor. And they divide us into Republicans, Democrats, conservative, liberal, right, communists, and all that. It's all BS, because they want you to fight and keep yourself distracted, because they don't want you to understand what's really going on. Okay? This is besides BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa already exceeded us. But look at this. This is the taxes that we collect right down here. Okay? This is the labor force. 167 million right now out of 342,000. Obviously, some are very old, some of them are young, babies, but the labor force. Look where we at. Now, look here at the national debt. We in the trillions. Okay? Now, look at the population growing, obviously, but it's not keeping up with the debt. Now, because of robots and artificial intelligence, we have produced more GDP, but I want you to keep in mind that this GDP obviously is going to drop, because there are many countries, BRICS, that have other countries united with them. They're dropping the dollar. Thus, they're over exceeding us. Thus, this GDP is going to start going down. And if you add the GDP versus the taxes collected, you can see it will not exceed to the amount of debt. We are non-sustainable. Thus, we will collapse as an economy. We will collapse as an empire, just as Rome did, for having the same system they use then, which is this capitalistic system. It's all great and dandy, but when you have the CEO, look at here, CEO, look how high they are compared to the employee, right? The average worker. Look at how it was down here by 1920, 1930s. Ever since the Federal Reserve was created, look at how much the CEO are making compared to the average worker. That means less money for you. You're going to become an indentured servant, or you really are an indentured servant. Some of you are just house slaves and you don't know it. Okay, this is 1913 to 1925. Now, if you doubt me about the GDP, you can look at USA versus BRICS GDP 2015 to 2025, and you see that right now America is beneath BRICS. BRICS is up here and has not only surpassed the United States, it has actually surpassed the United States and the other European countries, including Japan, the G7. All right, and last but not least, if you want to understand that we are in debt, an unsustainable debt that we cannot pay back. But if you look the foreign countries that buy most of our debt, like China, Japan, Russia, Europe, right? This is what de-dollarization is about, because our debt is unsustainable. It's based now on faith. It used to be based on gold. It was measurable, right? 1 ounce of gold per so many dollars. Well, since 1978, we dropped the gold system, the Brentwood system, which means the dollar is unsustainable, and that they did that to allow to be able to print more money to use for war, which means that creates inflation, creates more debt, and that means your buying power is reduced, which is why you sold the house. That's how much you could afford. It's going to be worse to the point your kids are not going to be able to afford a home. We all going to be a nation of indentured servants at the rate we're going, that's for sure. And we're going to crash. This is unsustainable, guys. This is why they're creating all these issues, because there are many countries that have joined BRICS. Our dollar is crashing. They don't tell you that it's coming down. And the fact of the matter is eventually, obviously, the people that hold this power to that dollar, right, which they have them throughout the Western world, when that crashes, okay, they will fight to the end to hold on to that power. They're not just going to give up that power. Okay, they're not going to rescind that power. So eventually we will be in World War III. All right, there's going to be an exchange of wealth. And eventually the United States will collapse. I'm sorry, I wish I was wrong. I saw it in the future, and the rate things are going, you're not helping when you're creating division. You think this is about immigrants, where immigrants, unlike the lies you have heard online, they bring so much to this nation, okay? Because they're able to work for less, work a lot more faster than the average American, right? Producing more GDP, more growth. And by you taking away those immigrants, that GDP is going to continue to drop, which is going to be worse, because that means you're going to have to pay more taxes and your buying power will be reduced. But if you look here at the debt, China, Japan, they're color-coded. I'm putting it up here as well. You see where we at, and you see everybody's dropping the dollar. So that dollar is going to lose even more power. It's going to become that much harder for you, because that money is not owed, is not owned to America like you think, to the government. That money is owed to a wealthy family like the Rothschilds, and they will collect one way or another. And they're losing power, they're losing control, which is why to BRICS, okay? And our technology is not as advanced as they used to, unlike what you may believe. So our country is going down. Okay, so they're trying to distract you with immigrants, when it's not about immigrants. It's not about, oh, they're purposely doing it to crash the economy because they want to introduce a new monetary system, a global reset. But then again, a lot of us will hurt. Okay, countries that haven't joined these central banks, right, via the IMF and World Bank, it's like Iran, Venezuela, Korea, Cuba. In these countries, obviously, we have put a lot of negative sanctions and embargo, which is why they got upset at us. That, no, it's time for us to move on. They became very creative, and they have joined BRICS. So the economy is going to change, but it's going to be really bad for us, because we are a nation, I'm sorry, of theft. We have robbed many Latin countries as well as Middle Eastern countries, and we are powerful only because we were robbing them. But now they have become powerful, so our buying power is going to reduce. Our power in the global economy will also come down, and it's going to be very hard for us. So be prepared for that, because it's not going to get easy, it's going to get worse. I know what's coming, besides having a vision, not only because I saw it, but also because the fact of the matter is, it's mathematics, right? You got to look at past history. You got to learn from it, just as what I wrote here. Because remember, the Alien Enemy Act was used before as well. It was an excuse, again, for aliens, right? But eventually, who got arrested? American citizen, okay? They lost their homes, their employment, many were killed. All right. So this has happened before. And that's the problem, that many of you don't understand history. You think is about politicians or Republicans and Democrats, when it's about an elite that want to keep you distracted while they've robbed you. And it's getting a lot worse, as you saw from those graphs. And I'm going to put it up here. Do your research. Ask ChatGPT. Wake up. We're not in the 1950s. We have a lot of artificial intelligence that they invest billions of dollars, and they are a lot smarter than you and I put together. And you could ask certain questions and it will answer you and it will tell you the truth. So ignorance is not an excuse. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and share. My pages has been taken down. My TikTok has been taken down. I made different ones, and again, they've been taken down. So I try to minimize. So it's up to you to share this, to wake up people, read it, do your own research. And I show you what I'm saying here is a fact. Just like I did videos of what was to come when I ran in Israel, and kicked Israel's ass. It's not over. These people are genocidal. They're not going to let this go. They will try against our own country and bring chaos to our own country. It's up to us to stop them. And how we stop them? We need to get APAC out of our system. We need to get rid of dual citizenship within our government. We need term limits within our senators who have been paid and bought for by Israel. If you see they are protecting Israel, or they're funding Israel, you shouldn't be voting for them. Stop voting for them, because they're not representing the best interests of we the people. They're representing our oppressors, our rulers that own many companies here in America, the media, so they keep us divided. They feed you lies and you believe it. And then you are backing up your own oppressor instead of backing your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your friend. God bless, guys. Thank you for watching.